because this internet canon is largely, at least as it functions, right? Maybe there you could make the argument that at some point in time, there were discussions that happened around these pieces of art that led to it being put into, discussed this certain way or perceived this certain way. But largely, on a functional level, this internet canon is not so much defined by the quality of a piece of art as it's defined by making fun of people who enjoy that piece of art, right? This is how so much of things in the modern day artistically function, right? Is can you make fun of that thing? This is why, for an example, Marvel movies are in that canon, right? They become in the canon. People say they don't have plots, they don't have, yada, yada, yada. And there's a lot of things they dunk on people with. That's how it works. As somebody who grew up reading comic books, I'm a huge fan of the Marvel movies. I'm never gonna hide that. I'm unabashedly, I love those movies. I'll always go to the theater and watch them. Even when they suck, I'm there, right? It's my version of like the Western. People that love Westerns, that's the Western for me, right? I'm the first to admit the jokes about the Marvel movies of like, when the main character always goes, he's right behind me, isn't he? And when, people are going to jump on and make fun of the tropes in those movies, they're hilarious, right? And there's almost an honesty in admitting, like, yeah, like, outside of personal complaints about, okay, maybe I don't like that there's always a third act set piece that's huge and giant, right? Outside of personal complaints, there's no 100% reason as to why these things that we consider to be outside of the periphery of the internet canon are actually worse, so we're just going to make fun of them, right? I find an honesty in that I do appreciate. And one of the things I think is so funny next to this is like, if you look at any really seriously awesome artist, they're gonna tell you their favorite movie is like, something that you would never expect, right? An article comes to mind that like Paul Thomas Anderson, fabulous director, obviously like probably a legend of this new generation of directors, said like, oh, like I loved Venom too. But I think it makes complete sense. Because to be an artist, or to take ideas and move with them and go like, this is an idea that I just think is fun and cool. To do that, you need to have like a certain level of non-judgment to you, right? You need to look for the good and the interesting in everything to stay creating like that. Because if you look at things with the eyes of a critic, it's just never gonna work for actually making art, right? Never in a million years. I think that's the biggest message I could ever give to you guys. If you have the idea that you can look at a Picasso long enough, you could find its flaws and create something better, that's not it. It is always easier to tear down a tower than to build a bigger one next to it, right?